Hey guys, Cody Hot Pockets here. I'm gonna do something new. This is Hot Pockets, and I'm actually going to do a kind of deck explanation, deck profile for the upcoming deck of Evilswarm. I printed out a bunch of proxies. I ran the proxy deck. The way I ran it, it has 29 monsters. I think like 9 magic and maybe 6 trap. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I do know it has 29 monsters. With this deck, I ran it against my other proxy deck, which I'll probably do a deck explanation on. A Constellar deck, which is really nice. This by far beat it. Evil Swarms have a really nice loop with Cerceon and Bahamut and Ophion. My god, I let one of my friends play this, and he only stays in Yu-Gi-Oh! For this game. So, I'm going to go through a deck count, and then I'll do explanations. So, first off, you have your Mandragas, which are really nice. They're or they are the Cosmo Beats, and it's really a Cosmo Beat, but in the sense of Evil Swarm. So pretty much, if you're playing this motherfucker, and they're like, "Oh, well, I have 3 monsters. You have 2 of these in your hand." That's straight 2 level 4s on the field, and then that's an instant overlay for pretty much any Xyz. Next we have Rosvelg, which I call him. I run 3 in this proxy. Works really nice. With the Sangan that I'm probably going to take out, it makes it to where this is the only one you can add to your hand, and he returns cards, and he is the Falcos Evilswarm. So it's a flip effect, so when they attack him, it's like, well, I'll return your dad, or I'll return other beaters you have on the field that I don't like. Another one, you have Cerceon, which is part of the main loop for Evilswarm. I ran this against like I said, I ran it against my other proxy deck, and because of Cerceon, I could not win. This card, though you can only gain its effect once per turn, Cerceon is probably the best Evilswarm in the entire game. Because it's literally just banish one from your grave, add one to hand, and then during the turn that you use this effect, you can normal summon again. When it's sent from field to grave by your opponent's card effect or battle, one of your Evilswarm monsters gets 1 less tribute. So for a golem, that's pretty nice. Especially because he's a spellcaster, and he's also 1600 beater level 4. Getting 3 of these on the field are very nice to have. And then we have Zahak, which is pretty much one of the cards you used with Cerceon. I haven't quite used his effect, but this is Ackley's, Dragoonity Ackley's as an Evilswarm. Yes, I do have an actual DT version of this. 3 of them. I would like DTs of all of these, but it's going to be really hard to get it. And then its effect is when this face-up card on the field will be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 special summoned level 5 or higher monster on the field and destroy that target. Since it says that, if you're running against Synchro Heavy decks or Ritual decks, in this case, like maybe Gem Knights and Gishkis, and other stuff like that, like Dino Rabbits sometime. No, not Dino Rabbits. But other decks that like to special summon a lot, you just have Zahak, send him to graveyard by your opponent's effect. Pretty much you could just put him face down because he's only 850 defense, and then you can use Cerceon's effect by banishing him, add 1 straight to your hand. He's just a nice playable cost for Cerceon's effect. And then you have Katos, who's also like a good thing with Cerceon, especially use the combo Zahak. Banish Zahak, add Katos. He's an MST. I advise running 3 of him if you were to ever run this deck. He is one of the most glorious MSTs in the entire world because you can use him with Cerceon. O-Lantern, I'm probably going to run a second one. He is like a tribute to the Doomed, but for Evilswarm. So yeah, you can get him to your hand with the Cerceon effect, but I don't advise it. Just play him once and you're good. And then this is Will-O-Wisp, but couldn't find the English proxy. But it's a really nice defensive card with 2050 defense, and if they're playing Laval's and they have Laval Ignis, and they attack him, his effect makes it to where any monster that battles this card's effect is negated. So if you have him face down, they're like, oh, I'm going to attack it. Well, 2050 beater, you are going to have to topple that without an effect. So good luck. Next would be Caster. 2 of these are weird printed, and then 1 is like a normal. Caster is really good. It's like Constellar Pollux. In fact, it is Constellar Pollux, if you could not tell. And it's got the same effect as him during the turn he's normal summoned, except with, instead of Constellars, it's Evilswarm. So during the turn he's summoned, you can just go, oh, well, I want another I want another Caster. And with Caster and Caster, that's an instant overlay for a 4. Also really nice. And then also, I run 2 Golems. Yes, I could not find the English version, but he is really good with a 2150 attack, and his effect is once per turn, you can target one level 5 or higher monster face up on the field, non-dark, and destroy it for almost no cost, and it's only a once per turn effect. I believe, since he's not getting hit by the March ban list, since Hidden Arsenal 7 isn't coming out until afterwards, he's going to be a really playable card, especially because you don't have to just run him in Evilswarm, you can run him in any dark deck. So I might run him in Insectors and see how that works. Run Summoner Monk when you're not really into using your spell cards. Just ditch him for an instant Xyz. Mystic Tomatoes, because they help get the Will-O-Wisp, even though I'm probably going to take them out. Sangan is probably going to get taken out because almost all of the Evilswarm play over 1500 attack. Tour Guides are staying in for the instant Xyz of Zenmaines. Zenmaines is a really nice card in this deck. Dad, because he's fucking Dad. I mean, like, if you don't run Dad in a dark deck, you're crazy. Because if you open with him in your hand, and since you have Cercion's effect to banish, you can maintain a graveyard of just 3 darks until you get Dad. And then you can do whatever you want. We're going to go into spells. For this, I run 2 Pandemic Contagion Infestation. Sorry, I was trying to read that, couldn't really read it. This is really nice, especially if your opponent's like, I'm gonna Mirror Force possibly. You can go like, ha, none of my Evilswarms will get destroyed, so pretty much the majority of your deck will be untouched. MST, only run 1 because Katos is your other MST, especially if you're running 3 of them. Lure of Darkness, free draw 2 to banish 1. Pot of Duality, the turn you can't do anything. Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Book of Moon, and Dark Hole, your basic staples. For the trap cards, we have 2 Infestation Infections. I will tell you a combo later with this and Ophion. Very nice for when Xyz monster, or when the Xyz are very pointless. Mirror Force, Call of the Haunted, Solemn, half of Solemn Brigade, Bottomless, and Compulse. I'm going to probably add another Compulse in here, but it's really nice. And then for the extra deck that I have so far, triple Bahamut. This is Big Eye, but instead of not attacking, you discard 1 Evilswarm. And for the small cost of discarding Evilswarm while you have Cercion on the field, that's not a big problem because you can, if you already have 2 in the graveyard and you need 1 in your hand, you can just use Cercion's effect, banish 1 in your graveyard, add to hand, then Bahamut's effect, target 1 face-up monster, deattach, and discard. Thus, you can use it again next turn because you have a Cercion on the field, which makes this loop really nice. So, definitely 3, and especially because if you run Infestation Infection, when these have no Xyz materials at all anymore, just send them straight back to the deck, and you can just pick up any other Evilswarm in the game, or in your deck, I should say, not just in the game, because you can do that. I advise not running 3 Ouroboros, because the chances of you getting him out are very slim, especially because in this deck you're not using him as often, so I'm probably going to take out 2. I'd run 1, maybe 2, but not 3. I almost never get him out. I try to do the Ophion, Bahamut, Cercion loop, but I think they're going to get hit in September, but who knows. But he's really nice. He's Trishula, obviously, which we all dearly miss. But you can only activate each effect once while this card is face up on the field. So one time you discard, or one time they discard, one time you return 1 card they control to the field, and 1 time you you banish 1 card in their grave. Again, good to use with Infestation Infection. I run 1 Ophion, probably gonna bump that up to 2. He's really nice, especially because he's a 2550 beater. He was one of the Evilswarms that got boosted in their attack when they were infected. But the reason why I say Ophion and Contagion, or not Contagion, but Infestation Infection have a really good combo is because when you have Ophion on the field, the first card you want to search for with him is Contagion, or Pandemic Contagion Infestation, because then you have a card to protect him, and then the second time you want to search this out, because then you always have this on the field, and then on your next go around you can activate this, send Ophion back, and pick up another card, thus resetting the Ophion, which makes him a really nice loop. So Ophion, you want to open into both of these, especially if you have Cercion on the field, because that would be a really nice combo. And then Nightmare, I only run one, probably going to run two. I don't have any Thanatos, because I couldn't find any, so I didn't print any off. But he's really nice, especially if your opponent likes to special summon a lot. You can just go, oh, hey, I'm going to bring Nightmare on defense, your turn. And they're going to be like, oh, all Dino Rabbits. After they activate Dino Rabbits, I don't know why this would be attached to them, but you can detach, and then the monsters they special summon go to face down defense instead of staying face up, so it lets you have an extra turn at them. So I think this is going to be a really helpful card, especially because you can use him in any dark deck. I do actually have a DT one, just not with this. But like I was saying earlier, Infestation Infection, and a Cercion with at least one Bahamut and one Ophion is probably the best field you could have with this deck, because Cercion, with Cercion on the field and Bahamut on the field with 2 Xyz materials and 2 in your grave, Cercion's effect to add 1 by banishing 1 to add 1 to your hand, Bahamut's effect to take 1 monster they control by discarding 1, Cercion's effect again, so if you have a second Bahamut, you could activate another one instead of Ophion. So you can just do 2 in 1 turn, which is really nice. And then the only reason why I'd say have Ophion is 1, he's a beater, and 2, he can fish out all of your Infestation Infections and your pandemic thingy. I'm tired of saying it because I've said it so many times. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. I will be doing a Constellar one as well. I'm excited for Evilswarm. Hope you guys are too. So thanks for watching, and peace off.